So there was an interview between Andrew Callahan's Channel 5 and Clavicular, the guy who does the Looksmaxxing thing.
My mom used to take these away when I was growing up because I was always bone smashing with a hammer. You know?
Yeah.
She had to hide them.
Bone smashing's the way of life. I got a few friends who do it all the time. They just bang on the face.
Yeah, exactly, bro. You gotta hit the chin hard.
Yeah. 1 sec, let me get a few hits.
Yeah, get a few hits. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Looksmaxxing is this obsession that now a lot of like younger people have with like changing their face, and because life probably isn't worth living if you're not looksmax.
Is what something I experience is like it's a mega waste of time. Say you were to do like a bowling date with a girl and you weren't streaming it, like that's just the most ridiculous.
What about like?
What did he say?
I love the way this pendulum swings, because before it was like fucking Bugatti and Bugatti, Bugatti, and like 7 women at the same time and hundreds of ladies and 50 bodies before. And now, if you're not streaming it, like it's a waste of time. What the fuck is the point of dates? Just the way we move from one extreme to the other fast.
Well, from one waste of time to another.
Connecting with her because like you like her or something like that, you know, like maybe you want to start a family.
But where's the ROI in that?
Sorry, what's ROI?
Return on investment. Like where's the ROI?
He's talking about, yeah, that's like looks real estate. What's investment? Like people don't like you. I'm gonna spend time with people I like. Well, what's the point in that?
I mean, maybe you have kids and you can mold your kid into like a Tiger Woods type, like little golf player or something, and then he could provide for you. So when you get old, you don't gotta go to a nursing home, and he can like make sure you're taken care of.
Just leech off your kid, like you know, those,
like you want when
those people who put the kids on the TikTok live, like
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like that's just comical.
So the main goal of Looksmaxxing is not to get girls; it's to feel good about yourself.
No, it's just to be successful in general. It's not about feeling good. It's about real results. And this is a completely objective thing. This isn't my opinion. In interviews, there's a huge bias towards good-looking people. In dating, obviously a huge bias towards good-looking people. So objectively, you could hate me as a content creator, but realize like the value in what I'm talking about.
What do you think are the main things that men are suffering from in 2026?
Economic struggle, lack of success in the dating market, hypergamy. I think you're going to be wasting your time entering the dating market until you are maximized.
You mentioned that alcohol is like a slop of the masses and that dating is a waste of time.
Well, no, I just said the exposure should be limited, right? So like if you're someone who just has a drink when they go out to lunch with their buddies, it's like, okay, you are just causing, you know, oxidative stress to your body for literally no reason. Because the way that I think about it is, you know, being super results driven, right? Mm-hmm. So like actually being able to talk to girls, potentially like, you know, get a girl to go home with you, like that's an example of, okay, maybe the oxidative stress could be justified because.
Do you guys understand why I'm staring a little bit confused? So I'm just trying to understand like the cohesiveness of this worldview. Dating is like a waste of time. What's the ROI? But you want to Looksmaxx and it's proven to work because of dating and you get better results. And if you're going to drink, it's a waste of time. But if you're going to drink, it should be good because, you know, drinking is like poison. It's bad for you. But if you're going to justify it, it's because you're going on a date. You want to take a girl home, so you need to drink to just loosen up. So it's like.
If you were actually smart, you would realize the purpose of alcohol is to lower your inhibitions to talk to girls. So that's the only time in which it makes sense to leverage such a toxic drug. Don't like when people put too much focus on like getting girls as the reason that they Looksmaxx.
But you just said it's the only reason worth drinking, which you said is like a poison. You don't like to make it a big emphasis, but you are saying I will poison myself to talk to girls. Well, what do you think you're telling viewers? And it doesn't get lost on me how often I'll see these dudes with like 30 women in a car and they're just like, maybe this is contradictory. There's a point where you have so many women around you, it starts to look gay.
Spend time with your girl, that's gay. Spend time with your boys, the red pill way. No, I don't want the women, no.
Do you get what I'm saying? It starts to look like you're performing. It's like when someone comes to me, he's like, I love, no, you don't understand how many, I love movies. I'm like, word. And then I go into this man's place and he got 100 screens playing movies at the same time. I'm like, you don't love movies. That's not, That's not the way you would watch movies. 100 movies at the same time, 130. You look like you're performing.
It is a performance because when the women are not there, he's not performing right there in that interview. He was not performing. It was one-on-one with a dude. And it was dull. It was boring. And it's probably what happens when the cameras turns off, when all these women are around. He doesn't know how to talk to them really. Performing and having a real conversation is really not the same thing. Talking to someone while you know someone is looking at you is not the same thing.
Yeah. But I don't really think that people should be drinking and doing drugs recreationally for the most part.
Reasonable, right? So I wanted to keep playing because like at least he gets a little bit reasonable.
I know that would appear super hypocritical because I do it a good amount. It's just something that I utilize for my work, for my content, because I can't really like function around people too well or be super entertaining in my sober state.
What drug?
Good Lord, this guy looks so dorky when he's out and about. I'll say, you know, one of the funniest things is like if you guys look up a lot of this guy's content, like a good portion of it is just him with women. This next part went viral.
I think people are scared to make friends now too. Screen time's at an all-time high. People aren't really going out. Community's kind of in collapse. Less people have real friends.
I don't know the relevance of that.
What do you mean?
What's the relevance of that? It's like
What's kind of what you were just talking about?
not at all. I was just
Engaging
talking
with
about
the world.
pharmacology.
Oh yeah, but I'm kind of getting into your goal is to help people ascend, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, what's the value there? I mean,
Okay, so in his defense, people saw this clip and then they lost their minds. But it's true that first 13 minutes, I remember listening to this interview after seeing the clip. I just listened to it raw. And when I was watching it, they were talking about like peptides and GHB1 and everything. And then Andrew drops his question, and then you see him go like, what's the relevance? It is an abrupt change. I understand where Andrew's trying to go to the deeper philosophical question of where you want this movement to go. And then this guy kind of freezes up a little bit. He's like, why would you switch to like people having no connection or whatever?
what's the value there? I mean,
And engaging with people in real life.
yeah, I mean, there's really not that many people that are worth interacting with, I would say.
What do you mean?
Like, most people are extremely jester. I would say the average person that you meet who's like an enjoyer of sports, who drinks beer, for example, you know, let's go have a beer at the pub and watch Sunday football. Like, that's the worst thing that you could do. Like, you should be on PubMed reading various different studies on how you could Looksmaxx.
You don't think there's any value in like social interactions with people?
I wouldn't say people in general.
Can I just say, if there's any proof that like being attractive is important, this guy's one of the most boring, most like dull people to listen to. Zero inflection in his voice. Doesn't look like he knows how to have fun in public. But
Yes, he
he's
does.
incredibly popular, right? He's going like, oh my God, it's so fucking loserish to go to your friends with the, you know, go to the pub with your friends. You should be on PubMed researching how to be more attractive.
As a result of not touching grass. That's what happens. That is the reason. If you don't go out there to live real life, you don't see the relevance in having connection. I call it COVID babies, but it's more than that.
Your social experience in school though, how was that?
I mean, what age range are we talking about?
I guess like right around 13, 14 is what I'm thinking.
Well, that would have been during the pandemic, so I was in online school.
Oh shit. How do you think that being in online school like, you know, transformed your experience during that time?
Well, obviously you're not interacting with anyone. So
Yeah.
You're just like ladaring.
But I mean, was that
I didn't know Preacher was going to say that, but I did have this in my notes. And you know what he said? He said, I wasn't interacting with people. He's like, what were you doing? He said, ladaring.
Obviously you're not interacting with anyone. So
Yeah.
You're just like ladaring.
You don't know what ladaring is? Ladaring is laying down and rotting.
I'm pretty sure
acronym.
that in 5 years there's going to be a baby. What's your name? Ladaring? Ladaring,
Wait,
Washington?
that's already a name in some parts of the South, I guarantee you.
Ladaring, Washington?
There's an NFL player with that name right now.
sort of fell into the Looksmaxxing community?
Around that time, actually, yeah.
So like Preach said, he ended up going into the Looksmaxxing community around the pandemic when he was ladaring.
When I first started lifting, and then I got really into, you know, pharmacology and
Steroids, essentially, okay? But
Pharmacology. He calls it pharmacology.
that's a technical term.
Yeah. During the pandemic, I was big on landscaping. I started smoking weed. Pharmacology is wild, my God.
Well,
I know you're not in the Looksmaxxing community, but you didn't even ask a Looksmaxxing question, like at all. You don't need to be in the Looksmaxxing community to ask a Looksmaxxing question.
So I think we've been talking about Looksmaxxing this whole time.
We've been talking about like the philosophy behind it, and it's.
You want me to ask you a scientific question about Looksmaxxing?
I just think it's kind of funny how
Trust me.
that's really never been done with the amount of like media appearances.
Maybe people don't know you
that's-
want to be asked that.
Well,
Well, now they will.
Well, that's quite literally what your companies, your
What do
press
you mean, your
company-
companies? You think I work for like Time Warner or something?
your press companies. You work for Channel 5.
It's a YouTube channel called Channel 5. I don't know what
I'm not
it
sure.
is. I'm the CEO of my own company. I don't.
he's like, he did this whole interview and signed this up. He didn't know Channel 5 was just his YouTube channel, which low-key funny, but keep going.
Yeah, not a single attempt at anything in regards to Looksmax.
Okay, what's the question I should ask?
Well, that's up to you. It's like,
you're
what am
telling
I going to tell you how to do your job?
You tell
I
me
mean-
you want me to ask you about specific scientific questions about different Looksmaxxing methods.
Well, I mean, just
And you're not happy with the question about the peptides or the bone smashing or anything like that.
I mean,
And I will defend Andrew in this regard. I watched the full interview. The first 15 minutes is just them talking about Looksmaxxing. They're talking about bone smashing, which apparently is this thing where you hit different parts of your body to adjust like your bone structure. Really fucking bizarre. And then they talked about peptides for an extended period of time where he talks about GLP-1. I know because I didn't know what GLP-1 was until this interview. So I can assure you what Clav is saying here is not true. I think what Clav looks like he's bothered by was the fact that Andrew doesn't know the deep science behind some of this stuff and hasn't like inquisitively asked him about the very fine details.
if it's from the context of what you guys reached out was your intention, then I would say that you've done a pretty shitty job.
There's been so many questions about Looksmaxxing. I've probably asked you about Looksmaxxing like 40 times.
Yep.
When you wake up every single morning and you take a look in the mirror, you're 100% satisfied with every single thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, dude. All right, well, I guess that's just, if you want to be completely disingenuous, that's fine with me. I guess there's just no point to continue.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right.
Yep.
That's how they entered the interview.
All right, thanks, guys. No worries.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Who's the sassy nigga that popped out of the left? What just happened right there? That walk was thunderous.
Look,
Look, look, look, look.
Yeah, but it was more sassy because
bitch.
it's
What?
more sassy
Yo, bitch,
because
why
it's
we ending the
fast
interview,
forward. It's
bitch?
Fast forward, no?
Disappointed.
If I slow it down, nigga, you about to see them hips sway.
Yes, please. What the fuck?
All right. Yo, check out.
Someone wrote Zexmaxing.
That's actually.
I think he panicked because he didn't really look good in this interview. That's pretty much it. He's like, you're not gonna watch anything. Like he doesn't really know. He's not a really aware kid. Is he on the spectrum?
Yeah.
The thing about the spectrum is that it's like Maybelline. You're either born with it or it's induced onto you, depending on your environment and how you're grown, or you're born with it. I think it's both for him. You're not really in touch with how you feeling.
You're 100% satisfied with every single thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, dude. I guess there's just no point to continue.
That last question was fascinating. He's like, there's nothing you want to change or like, he's like, no, I'm good with myself. And in his head, he really thinks Andrew's lying. And Andrew could be lying. I don't know. But there are people who look at their own flaws and go, okay.
I'm okay with it.
You know, there's some people who can't live with their fucked up nose, which isn't even fucked up. It's just fucked up by Instagram standards. And there's other people who look at their cultural heritage and don't go, this is a fucking shame. It just is what it is. I'm different a little bit, whatever, who cares? I got this forehead, I'm genuinely not bothered by it. That's why when niggas make a joke or Preach makes a joke, I don't sit there and go, it's part of what I get. But for folks like him who are constantly obsessed with like perfecting every part of themselves because they think that's ascending, isn't there an irony that the idea of ascending for these people is engaging in some of the like vapid, empty, Hollywood imitating behavior? Their idea of ascension is forgoing relationships with people because there's no ROI. It's not accepting yourself, not accepting your heritage, but getting whatever surgery. This dude injected Botox into his girlfriend's face because she could be a bit. Their idea of ascension is being defined by general beauty standards and being imprisoned by them.
How old was the girlfriend?
She was like 18.
Yep. On top of that,
there's such a contrast between this man and the goal he's trying to achieve and what he defines as success. You talk about how much of a waste of time dating is. Cool. You think that that's fine. You in the club every day, doing something to make money that you don't even think is a good thing and you wouldn't recommend to your viewers. You are imprisoned by the very thing you say is a waste of time just to get viewers. What is ascending about that? I think we all like spend time watching movies and TV shows growing up where they tell you like the power of friendship. Remember that? Y'all remember all them fucking corny ass animes that y'all see as a kid? The power of friendship.
yeah. What about it?
Shit is true. But it's just not sexy answer. It is corny as fuck, but it's true. It's corny because of the way they were saying it and like this whole like idealistic idea of like friendship, like I'm me and my brothers. But shit's true. There's gonna be no better feelings in your life than when you're gonna see your homie succeed. Nothing will fill you with like as much pleasure.
Pause. That's crazy you said that.
Than when you see your homie struggle and overcome things. So like, whenever I see a lot of these movements and like this vapid stuff about women in the club, it's like, even when you go out with your homies to the club, the joy is not in the actual getting with girls. It's seeing your homie who couldn't get some. You lose your mind. It has nothing to do with the girl. If you see your homie, he was fat and he lost weight, he gets shape, you lose your mind the exact same way. So I'll just say this to you guys. Anybody who tells you that the way to success in life, okay, doesn't involve having strong relationships with people is selling you false idols. In my opinion, and I truly believe this, the things that make life worth living, the only thing is relationships. Be it your kids, your wife, your friends, your family, whatever it is, that's the only thing. I have a course on building friendships.
Although Clavicular and I didn't exactly see eye to eye during our sit down, especially toward the end, he actually invited our crew back out the next night because he, like most people, wanted to party with our co-host, Saddam.
Can you define success to me?
You're looking at it, brother.
Would you rather have?
Looks first, everything else follows.
We love club! We love club! We love club!
I'm sorry. There's got to be nothing more fucking loserish than being a male groupie for some male influencer. If any of you niggas see me in the street and do this goofy ass shit, I'm gonna tell you to unsubscribe. You want to shake my hand? You want to introduce yourself? That's fine. If you start fucking pumping your fist talking about we want you, pause.
This one is lost.
Pause first. Secondly, work on your self-esteem. That is embarrassing.
It's called trickle-down economics. See, all these bitches are here because I invited them, but obviously I can't have sex with all of them. It's just too much work. So that they trickle down, and then the rest of the buddies can take care of it.
Good. So imagine being one of his homies and getting the sloppy seconds. There was a theme that came up towards the end where they said stuff like, you know, looking better gets you better results in life, so why wouldn't you do it? And that's true. Guys, being rich is going to give you more freedoms and things. The question is, what are you doing to get there? Like, there's a lot of things you can do to get rich. Are they all the same? If you work hard, you work towards your business, you make an effort, people are going to respect that? Generally, yes. You sell kids some fucking... people are not going to respect it. What you're doing to get there matters. When you guys are going through this thing where you're fucking Botox here and getting jaw surgery and fucking fillers everywhere and getting height surgery to get 5 inches taller, all these things, I think it's okay for people to say, y'all doing too much. Like, yeah, being attractive does help you in life in terms of getting results, but like, I think the sacrifices y'all are making are too extreme. And I think that's what people are thinking about when they see this Looksmaxxing community. So when people talk about bone smashing and fucking taking a hammer to your face and all this other weird stuff, there's been so many beauty things that people have tried during the years to appeal to beauty standards. You remember this thing called back in the day with the Asians, I think it was Chinese specifically, they would wrap their feet when they were kids, because having small feet was a sign of beauty. So during your developmental phase, they would wrap it to the point where your bone structure would shrink so that
the toes would go under the foot. It would literally go under the foot like that. Looksmaxxing.
True. The idea of making improvements on yourself is never something we're going to argue with. You want to work out, you want to style yourself better. These are all reasonable things. But we've gotten to the point where people have pushed Looksmaxxing, even before this guy was around, Instagram exists, okay? They didn't call it Looksmaxxing, but ladies was gone. Y'all ever go on your Explorer page and like 10 girls got the same face with different skin tones? You know when they got that fucking, that IG feed face where their nose all look the same, they all got that Kardashian look or whatever it is? I think it's okay to say that's too far. Now it's just in your face and dudes are doing it. But ladies been doing this stuff. I personally find it so sad when I'll see ethnic women and all of a sudden their nose looks like it's from the valley in California. You can do whatever you want. If you think it's a point of pride to look like an American Valley girl, whatever it is to you, I think it's sad, personally. I think it's sad that you get this from your heritage and you think you need to abandon every aspect of where you came from to look like this Kardashian lookalike. No one's going to tell me that's ascending. But you would be lying if you didn't admit that women who do this stuff don't get better results when it comes to social media. They don't get instantaneous results when it comes to like attractiveness and how dudes look at them. So I think even the Looksmaxxing thing even existing is a reflection of the fact that we as a society spend way too much time rewarding people for these looks. And so people see that feedback look and they're like, I feel like I want that result, so I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
Yeah. One group of girls gonna go out, and then there's gonna be one of the girls that got the BBL. One of the BBLs was not a thing, right? Yo, the attention was ridiculous. They see it, and then the rest of the people oftentimes follow through with the BBL and stuff. And well, they all claim that it was not for the men, it was for them. It was not for the male gaze. It's for the gaze male.
It's for society's gaze.
It was it's for the male gaze. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Why do they both do that? Why do these guys pretend like they're not doing it for girls? And why do the girls pretend they're not doing it for dudes? You guys are all doing it for each other.
100%.
These guys can say whatever the fuck they want. They spend all their days with girls in the club. So you can tell me whatever you want.
I do that for me.
I know you lying.
I do that because of the RI. No, you're the same person as the girl that says, I'm not doing that for the male. You're doing that because the gratification that you get after is going to get you that. And it's fine.
But this next part is probably just something you going to learn or you're not going to learn. I don't know. But this is hard to translate to somebody who doesn't get it. You can spend all your days Looksmaxxing. Shit, I financially maxed, you know what I mean, with this YouTube channel. So my lifestyle has changed to a degree where I have certain freedoms. And there's no doubt that the liberties that it gives me definitely alleviate certain stresses. But does it make you happy? Absolutely not. There's no one who's going to tell you that doing this stuff is going to make you magically happy. It might fulfill certain things based off the work you're doing, but it's never going to fulfill you that way. I can tell you guys without a shadow of a doubt that taking a trip with my friends, spending time with my family, my niece, that stuff makes me infinitely more happy and more fulfilled inside than any of the benefits, quote unquote, that come from financial maxing. Where's the conversations about passion? Where's the conversations about hobbies and fulfillment? These people, all they give a fuck about is to attract more fake people. And there's an irony because he admits it too. At one point he says,
chasing tail is really not going to get you anywhere. Like you could become the most successful slayer and have the best game ever, sleep with a different girl every night, but your life will really not change, and in a lot of regards, like it'll get worse.
True. Go look up all those guys in the pickup artist community who have like hundreds of bodies, who that video of themselves picking up girls. If you guys ever do follow up with these people, they look miserable.
No dude that didn't have any experience in life except COVID, and it was a screen, and now he acts like a bot. Dances like an NPC and has emotion like if he had a max on.